Response video to conference reports guy, Fred. Okay, there was two videos. Well, it's more than two, right? So one video you're talking about, well, 3 or 4 videos. You're talking about this, math, physics, chemistry, biology, psychology thing, and I'd almost tie it back together, because if you go from psychology to intelligence, then you're sort of connecting back to math again, because then you're connecting logic back into the game, and logic is basically math for concepts, right? It's like concept math. And so I mean, if quantum mechanics can be called math, then I think concept math could be called math too, logic. So so there, maybe we made a circle. I don't know what good it does, those little things. I remember when I was a kid, I was really obsessed with the number 3 for a while. I was going to write a whole thesis on how the whole universe, was the number 3 was somehow connected to every single thing that functioned in the universe. And, just because there seemed to be a lot of 3-based things. But then I realized there's a lot of 2-based things and 4-based things, and it's just because it's a low number, there's a lot of things based on that. So anyway, I realized that that's probably folly, and I gave that one up. So anyway, alright, so the other thing was you did a little video just explaining your vegetarianism and how something that starts off stupid can finish, brilliant, so to speak, implying that even though we have a stupid origin, it's sort of just a desire machine life, that somehow it could end up being really kick-ass, and it could do something really super cool. You've also implied this in other videos where, the chemistry could come up with something else phantasmagorically super cool. That there's some sort of thing called, like, this grand idea of some kind of possibility in the universe, and that somehow it can actually do something, that qualifies by a real explicit definition to use the word brilliant. And I don't mean brilliant like, sex brilliant, where it's brilliant to us, but, as a thing, it's not really brilliant. So, yeah. Real brilliance in the universe. Is there such a thing? Is there any real true beauty in the universe? Is the possibility of it? Is there a theoretical possibility? And I think all the logic points to no. It's just we understand how it's sort of the only thing that we've been able to really say means anything, right? That has any consequence at all is this sentience thing. And you've kind of diminished it by saying, well, it's only a little ball of sentience in this huge, gigantic, swirling mass of, subatomic and atomic and planetary matter, and therefore it has no significance. I think that's just a lie of perspective. I don't think it's that hard to say, you could narrow, all you have to do is just change the what you're listening for, and it's going to be plenty loud. The closer you get to it, the louder it's going to get. So if you get close enough to the suffering, it screams really loud. It's loud, and it's only your distance that makes it seem like it's distant or insignificant. It's really significant. It's just that you're far away. There's too much noise, that kind of thing. It's not that the signal isn't there. It's just competing with too much crap. So I could almost argue that even a frog, one little frog sitting in a pond, is a universe of sensation and meaning and substance, and its welfare is incredibly important. It's just something to be just cherish this thing, this precious feeling thing. So that would be how I would look at it. And so this is hugely important. Every little tiny bit of it matters. And So I just think it's a bogus argument just to say, well, there's just so much that we can just ignore it. We don't have to worry about how efficiently it is, because a little waste here, a little waste there, who the hell cares? 6 million dead there, 4 billion, who cares? Billion, trillion, who cares? No. No, it's big stuff. It's power. It has real weight. It has mass as important stuff. It's creating a huge dimple in the universe of meaning. Okay, in that dimension, in the meaning dimension, there's a huge density of meaning involved in this feeling thing. And what's it based on, though? It's all based on the creation of a deficit, a need, a capacity. To cat. Just was petting the cat. It's everywhere. Catness. There's this. We create need. That's what we do. We give. You gave birth. Well, you didn't. Your wife did. But you gave birth to need. You created it, and now some portion of it will get satisfied. It's like we create deprivation, and I've made this argument, and then we appease some portion of it. And in our societies, the way they're functioning, our cultures, I mean, the way we're apportioning it is just so stupid. I mean, we'll watch 100 people die over there, so one person can live over here. So we'll do nothing over there, so one can live over here. 100 to 1. We have all kinds of bizarre ratios like that that just make no sense. We make these silly trade-offs, and it's nearly impossible for us as individuals living in this whole chaotic mess to understand even what we can do as individuals to even start cleaning it up. Where do you pick up the mop, and where do you start cleaning it up? Because there's so much chaos that there's no order to it. So I mean, you'll just end up working really hard, cleaning up a spot, and that's the spot that's going to get demolition tomorrow. And so it's like everybody, you feel futile, because you don't even know where to start cleaning, because you don't know what culture is going to just destroy or spit on the next day. So you can't do anything even constructive in a non-selfish way. Like, say we actually understood our role here is to maximize our capacity to comfort other people, or to create the most comfort possible, and not to be obsessed with our own self-interest, because our self is only one player in this whole pool of equal necessity of action, in need of action, in need of comfort. I guess it'd be kind of easy, if you're a beautiful woman, because you can't fail, you know what I mean? I mean, if you could really just stomach the idea of sleeping with anybody, yeah, you could just just give yourself away every day. Just say, well, I'll go sleep with as many people as possible and make them happy. That's sort of an easy equation. I give them comfort. But yeah, it's just not so easy for the rest of us to find how to maximize our potential. But it's sort of like that. We all should have like a schedule for every day. Well, this is what I need to do today to have a productive day, to maximize my capacity to create comfort in the world. I can create the maximum amount of comfort if I do this. It would be really nice to be able to have that diagram. But obviously you can't have it in this world, because this world is just a mess. It's a pigsty, and there's just nowhere for a sensible janitor to start. Yeah, so it's just kind of discouraging. But anyway, yeah, you really are, I mean, there is this Professor Anton, vision of loveliness that flies out of you sometimes. It seems rather optimistic, and maybe that's what you need to do to get through your life. But you sort of are doing the philosophy thing, so I'm going to once in a while try to obligate you to come up with a better explanation that doesn't sound like a rationalization, because that's what some of it sounds like sometimes. That you're just, it's just so easy, to do the happily ever after thing, the presumption that we're heading somewhere good, because chocolate cake is good, and so if chocolate cake exists in the universe, there must be other good things, or some kind of junk like that. The basic design is Frankenstein. I mean, there's nothing else here. It's a need machine. It's a desire mechanism. After you get to the sentience thing, and that's all it's doing. We're owned by a DNA molecule, and the DNA molecule doesn't have any sense of dignity or charm or value, and so our intelligence just sits on top of this monkey, that's playing in the evolution game, playing in the desire game, we're both a player and a referee. I guess that's a weird way to put it, but that might be a way of looking at it. We're this obsessed thing in the game, and at the same time we have a little referee sitting on our head. It's capable of blowing a whistle, and how often does it blow a whistle against the other guy because it's sort of riding on this guy, and so it's got a bigotry. But it's really capable of blowing the whistle on ourselves, and I think we got to do a lot of that, a lot more of that. We got to blow. We're fouling.